today we are going to be demonstrating practical procedure 29-2, two-color method of UV gel on tips or natural nail, UV or LED gel. Today we're using UV. We're actually going to do a natural nail today, so she's got a long length, and we're going to do a pink and white nail. So two colors, normally your French design. It's going to be pink and white. So the first thing you're going to do is going to be wash your client's hands, have them wash their hands, you wash yours, remove any existing polish with polish remover, and then you're going to perform your manicure. So always push back the cuticle tissue, remove any dead skin, shape your nail, get it the way you want it. The client's natural nail, out in, it's a natural nail, so we got to go out in. And then we're going to go in and remove our shine as usual. So, lightly buff over to take off the natural shine. Always, products do not like to stick to oil. If you've ever tried to paint something that was shiny, didn't last very long. So, got to prepare it. Then you're going to brush off your dust. All right, so now we're going to go in like we did before with our dehydrator and our primer. Very similar steps. It normally starts to change steps when you get to the base part. So normally your dehydrator and primer is standard, but always read your instructions to make sure. All right. So now we're going to go in with our base coat once again. This is our adhesion. We're going to rub it into the fibers of the nail, the little scratches we made, the little buffy marks, and that primer that we put on. It's going to really adhere it. All right, and we're going to cap our tip. So we're going to cure this before we start with our colors. All right, so we have our base gel on. So now we're going to actually go in with our white. So there's a lot of people that you can do this, the pink nail bed first and then file your smile line. Some people do it that way and then put the white up to it. But traditionally, we're actually going to do the white first. A lot of people get scared when you say that. So to me, it's slightly easier depending on what you're trying to do because you can do this a good bit faster. So what you're going to do first is pick up a good amount of white because you want to cover the free edge of the nail, the natural nail, and then just kind of pretend where you would want the white to start where their free edge starts. So the white that you see on the natural nail is normally what we're trying to mimic. We just wanted to make it look more uniform and more classy. So you're going to roll off your gel like you did before with the pink, and we're going to work it up one side, and we're going to work it up the other side. And this bead, you want it to be pretty thick. I'm going to get a little bit more. Only because whenever you go to carve out your smile, you want there to be a ledge behind it so you'll have somewhere to sit your pink. So you do kind of want this on the thicker side. Not super thick, but thicker. And with this being a natural nail, this is actually her free edge. So she wouldn't be having as much heat build up because her nail bed is still up here. So if you have any questions on why I'm doing it so thick on the free edge when I just told you not to. So now we're going to actually use a little alcohol, and we want to clean off the white off of our brush really, really, really well because we're going to actually go in and clean up the line that we just did. Or put up the product that we just put on. So your goal, let's see, I was going to say you're going to have to dip straight down. That might actually be better. You're going to dip straight down and then carve. So you're going to go all the way in and swipe up right. Right? Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to go back in the same way and swipe up left. Boom. All right. We got our smile, our corners. So that's our goal, is to go in and get those corners and kind of clean them up. All right. So once you have your corners the way you like it, I'm trying to make sure her gel's not hanging off her tip. Okay. Once you have your corners, cover up your pot container, and you want the client to hold her hand up, and then you're going to cure. All right. So now that we have cured our white, we want to freeze it so it doesn't move. And now we're going to go in with our pink. So we're going to actually put the pink in this area to fill in the nail bed. All right. So I am going to start kind of at the cuticle area, and I'm going to roll it. The only reason I'm not doing a slip on this is because it's not going over the entire nail. I need it more control where I need it in the middle. The slip tends to do really well when you're doing an entire nail because it's just going to run and level. So this one, our goal is to just get it right up to that white line. All right, and you can do this two ways. You can either build up the white free edge to give it a lot more height so you don't need to cap it in clear, but if by some chance you feel like your structure is not sound enough, we can use a self-leveling clear gel that we can just fill in any humps and lumps and gaps and stuff with, and it makes it look really glassy and nice and soft. It's a softer French, so that would really be up to you depending on the look you're going for. So I did add a little more pink because I wanted to bring that pink down a little more and have it nice and opaque. All right, so that looks really, really nice. I love. So I'm going to clean my brush, cover my gel, and now we're going to go into the light to cure. All right, so after we have our pink built up, there is a little gap between the pink and the white. It actually looks pretty good though, so I'm just going to cap the whole thing in clear. So that's where you would use a self-leveling gel that is a lot runnier because it's going to fill in all those lumps and valleys and things that needs to be smoothed out. All right, so with this one, actually so with this one I'm going to do a light slip layer because I am going to cover the entire nail. So like I said before, you know, it just really depends on how much you're trying to cover. This does really good for for full coverage. So slip it, go in. This is much thinner, so you have to cure this one quick because the different viscosities of gels definitely matter on the job, what you're trying to do with them. All right. And you can always pick it up with the edge of your brush and get those sides together if you need to. All right. So as soon as you like it, we're going to cure. All right, so after you come out of the light from curing, you're going to take your alcohol on a lint-free pad or a cotton wipe, and then you're going to, once again, wipe that inhibition layer off. But you're going to be really careful not to get it on her skin. So if you happen to need another builder layer after that first one to build up your structure, then that's fine. You can do as many layers as you need until it looks like you want it to. But just keep them thin so the client doesn't get any heat. So now we're going to shape. So we're going to shape the sides first as usual. Get our basic perimeter that we want. And this time she wants square. So we're going to do a good square. Because I like a square with a French. I think it looks good. So you do want to use the softer side of the file if you have a 100-180. Use the 180 side because gel tends to be a good bit softer and you won't need any heavy duty filing, which is one of my favorite things about it. So you contour the side, of course, up from your perimeter as always. Hit the front and go across the front. We always want to keep it in a horseshoe, so kind of come across, up, and come down. Around the cuticle area, down. All right, so we're just going to keep hitting it, and the best thing about gel is it's shiny after you take the inhibition layer off, the sticky layer. So a lot of times you can see where it's still shiny, so you'll know where you hit it. So you just keep filing until it looks like you want it to. All right, so after we get it in the shape that we want, then you just lightly buff over it. You still want some of those scuffy marks because you want your gel to fit into those scuffy marks. So once you get to where you like your design, you can see that we have a pretty French. There we go. All right, now you can see it. So now we have our really pretty French. There we go. All right, pink and white. I wanted to get that in the light for you. Get that in the good light so you can see it. So now what we're going to do is top coat it. So that's the best part about this design. Whenever you're done with building the nail, no polish really is required, just clear, because it's just as beautiful as it is. So we will put our gel top coat on that nail, and then we're going to cure her in the lamp. And after we cure, that's what we've got, our beautiful pink and white. Perfect, pink and white, 2-color. Okay, so once you come out of the light, then of course you would let it cool. You do want to let it cool coming out of the light, because hot top coat coming right out the light can cause your cuticle oil, it can cause it to dull. The cuticle oil will dull. So you want to put on a little oil, and then you massage that into the surrounding skin, and then present the nail to your client to see how they like it.